All right. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I hope we're all doing good. We're just kind of setting things up. Let's see if we are live at the moment. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, as please confirm if you can hear me loud and clear. Um, we'll be starting actually once we have everybody else. We'll start. So actually by 7:30 or so. But if you have any questions, feel free to share. So, Lakon, please confirm. Okay, Bio says loud and clear. Okay, I guess we're good then. So I just need to share this link, pin it on Twitter, and then we are good to go. I don't know if Charles is here yet, but um, I guess would pin this in a bit. Good evening, Godfrey. So we said we are going to start off by 7:30. I wasn't expecting that we'll be able to set up this link quite so fast. So anyone have any questions? Feel free to share the questions, or take them, um, and then we're good to go. So just take a minute to circulate this link, and we would start. All right, the link is pinned. So do us a favor, please, ladies and gentlemen, do us a favor, share the YouTube live link. Um, Share the YouTube live link. Let's see if we can get everybody else on. I'm sure in a few minutes I would have Charles, Azar, and the rest of the team join. Fortunately, StreamYard, which is what we are using to stream into YouTube, isn't the most phone-friendly option. So we should be kicking off by 7:30. Um, so we should be starting off under 11 minutes or so. But if you have any questions, feel free to drop your questions. We're more than willing to take them. We'll be kicking off the usual Twitter space, or we'll be kicking off where we'll continue, or continue from where we stopped at 7:30. Anyone else have any questions? Feel free to share them. By 7:30 or just before 7:30, we should have the entire green ticket teams on. For some reason, I don't know why, we kept getting thrown out of the we kept getting thrown out of the Twitter app. Um, yeah. So, anyone else have any questions? Feel free to drop your questions. Can we get? Good evening. So, did I take it that nobody has any questions? Or we're just interested in what we were discussing previously before we had glitches? Can you use the funds budgeted for the Dangote refinery IPO and buy the dip? Man, this is a complex question. This is a question I need to unpack. Um, so, can you use the first is I don't. I mean, I don't know the price at which you got into RDL tip and UACN. So, and secondly, is I also don't, nobody knows exactly when the refinery IPO would, kick off. So, yes, we know we hear it's going to be Q3, the third quarter of the year, but we're already in the third quarter of the year. July, August, September is the third quarter. So, it could be any time between now and September. So, I can't categorically say, right? It all depends on when the IPO will start. It depends on what is your average price compared to, or what was your entry price compared to current price and how down below you are. And it also depends on the sum of money involved. So if it's money that you can easily, get, um, if it's money that you can easily get in a couple of months or two, and sure, maybe that will work. So, it all depends on at what price you got into those stocks and how quickly you can get the money and when the IPO will begin. Nobody knows the exact date that the IPO would begin. Yeah, so I hope to an extent that answers your question. Is it possible for NGX to apply the T plus one for domestic investors and T plus two for foreign investors? Yeah, it's possible. That's the way. In fact, some people have actually suggested that the NGX should do that, meaning T plus one for domestic investors, T plus two for foreign investors. So have a transition arrangement. So yeah, it's possible the NGX can do that, but it all depends on SEC. NGX is over the NGX is overseen by SEC. So if SEC says fine, then NGX can go with that. Um, Edith, I don't know if NACO would. Why did it dip so much? NACO is a liquid stock. We had the reason why we have the market tanking, T plus one, profit taking, people pulled out money for the Dangote petrol refinery private placement. Chances of it going back to its previous all-time high here, honestly, nobody knows really. But I think that if you're going to anybody investing money in the market right now, would probably be doing so with a 2 3 year timeline. So I see Bivins here. All right, let's go. Charles, can you hear me? I've added you to the stage, so let me know if you can speak.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you can go ahead.
I don't even know where we are any longer. Twitter is
We're
trying
talking
to.
about the communications problem in the capital markets.
Yeah, truth of the matter is we need to do better in terms of communication, and we we shouldn't be making this kind of rookie errors any longer. If we want the market to grow, then we should be taking we should be learning from all our previous mistakes. The whole idea of always, making these errors and waiting for the market to punish us unnecessarily is something that is very avoidable. And again, talking about communications, this is a very strong message to companies listed on the NGX. This is the time to up your communication games, because a lot of things are happening. The thing is, the only time we think we have an inkling that something is happening in NGX is when we look at certain numbers or volumes during trading. So you see in an equity that the volumes are trading unusually high. It's not like there's any result. It's not like there's any development going on, but you just see an unusually high volume. And then for us who look at the market critically, we now decide to find out what's going on. We noticed that with Ikeja Hotel, before the announcement was made that they have two new executive directors. Uh, Having two new executive directors should not really affect the stock like that. However, when it starts affecting the stock like that, it's more than just having executive directors. It tells us a different story. If you've been long enough in the market, that should be a signal that something is happening. And then you look at the caliber of appointment, you look at the people who uh, are being appointed as executive directors. You look at their present role. You ask yourself, what time does this person have with everything that is happening with his uh, uh, present establishment, where he's chief executive? You begin to ask yourself, what time does this person have to be an executive, non-executive director for another company? It raises a question, and you begin to wonder what's going on. So, and if you notice, too, there was some kind of, I'm talking specifically about Ikeja Hotel right now. And we know everything that's happening in Ikeja Hotels, First Bank, Otudeco. So Otudeco is the common denominator now in First Bank and Ikeja Hotel. We know the story around Otudeco with First Bank. We see how Otudeco is presently a stakeholder at Ikeja Hotel, and right now his vehicle has acquired more shares. All of a sudden, one of the executive directors of First Bank is being appointed as a non-executive director in Ikeja Hotels. So something is definitely going on there. The play is going on. These are the things we see before other people see them. And we can't confirm for now. We'll just watch the space. But if those volumes keeps going up, then your guess is as good as mine as to what is. Oh, I think I'm mixing something up. I'm mixing Ikeja Hotel up with Nako. Yeah, I'm mixing Ikeja Hotel up with Nako. Sorry about that. So if you look at Nako, they just made two appointments. Julius Owotega, if you know who Julius is, his right hand man to Femi Otedola, with his position in First Bank, you are wondering what time he will have to be running the business of NACO. So maybe we should start connecting the dots and start asking what's really going on. There's no way he would have taken that appointment without first consulting with his boss. So there's a play going on there, and As the picture unravels, as we get more clarity, we would let the house know. But most definitely, there's something going on. Um, so that was just an example of how we don't get proper communications on the NGX, but somehow we're able to sniff out some of these things. So it's now left for the companies that are listed on the NGX to start to communicate properly. It will do them a lot of good. And again, we need FTSE Russell to come back into this market. We really, really need them because that will mean an infusion of close to between 200 to 400 million dollars into the capital market. And we know where the usual suspects are. Be going for the GTBs, the Zenith, the Dangotes, the Boa Food, the cement, the UACs, and their likes. And then from time to time, they'll be rotating into other mid-tier stock, but their concentration will be on the NGX top 30 index. We need them to be in the market. So going forward, we want a situation where uh, if it means SEC, NGX, everyone coming together, reaching out to all stakeholders, reach out to FTSE, ask them where is the confusion, where is the clarity. A couple of people are happy with this T+1 implementation, especially the local investors, because they don't have any problem. It may have been an oversight, uh, not putting into consideration, it might be a problem getting Forex immediately. And then, again, if you need to repatriate Forex, getting changing from Naira to Forex and repatriating immediately might be an issue. So based on that, we could, if there's a solution that you have for it, uh, you could profile it, and if it's something that we like, by all means, we can implement it. At the end of the day, we want this market to move forward. This is no time to be doubling down. This is no time to be releasing statements that are antagonistic and unnecessarily nationalistic, not patriotic. There's a difference. And then let's see how we can resolve this issue. However, concerning the market, it was a very good, it created, and it's still going to create opportunities for people to get into some of these good stocks that have been beaten down. And for those who are experiencing this for the first time, that's the nature of the market. That's the nature of the market. The market does not go up continuously in a straight line. I know some people will be regretting why they didn't take profit, but at the same time, you could take profit and then you find out that next time you want to get into the market, you are probably buying these equities at a higher price. So a lot of good equities um, dropped into the bargain zone, and a lot were beaten unnecessarily because I kept asking the question, what has changed in the fundamentals of this company, of these companies? Nothing really changed. Nothing really changed about the fundamentals, but people were just panicking for nothing because they have been used to the market continuously going up, and they thought it will remain like that forever. Good thing the half-year results are going to come in. Like I said, we are going to have a couple of blowouts. Prepare your minds for blowouts in equities like uh, MTN, equities like UACN, because we'll continue to see a more effective synergy in terms of where in terms of what the acquisition of Chivita has brought to them. And I know, based on my investigation, a lot of work is being done. All hands are on deck to make that. The UAC wants to be a beacon of a Nigerian company, um, uh, telling the world that Nigerians can run things effectively. We don't speak too much about them because we spoke about them a long, long time ago. So if anybody bought at that period, I'm saying even if UAC goes down another 100%, you will still probably be 100% in profit. So nothing has affected the UAC materially. Uh, the Regency Alliance right issue is still ongoing. Again, another failure of communication because as at this time that we are talking, we still haven't seen the year-end result of Regency Alliance. And how they were able to get SEC to approve their right issue without year-end result is baffling. It baffles me. It really baffles me. And these are all the things we talk about. The SEC itself, they don't communicate. They just hand down orders, like you are talking to your slave. You just tell them, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And I've come to this conclusion because a lot of times we're always doing like a reversal of or a revision of policies that have been made. It shows there's improper communication, whether the communication is lack of non-participation from the companies involved, and the SEC just decides to say, okay, this is what we are going to do, or SEC is being overbearing and just imposing whatever they want on these operators without thinking of the far-reaching implications it might have in the market. So sometimes when you punish these operators, you indirectly punish the market and you indirectly punish participants in the market. And that's why we cannot overemphasize the importance of having roundtable, inviting opinions, even from ordinary investors, retail investors too. Call them to that table and ask them, what do you think about this? You know? I mean, like, you should have a think tank right now. You should know people who know how finance, how the market works in Nigeria. Go around uh, various media, and you will find these people. You know them. They are all over the place. They're everywhere. Get these people and ask them to what they think about this. Invite them. Talk about this in a round table, and then come out with proper decision. Feel the pulse of the market. Feel the pulse of investors. Once in a while, you throw a survey. How would how will you react to this? And let's see the poll. Let's see how it comes out. That way, you'll be able to judge the market. And if at the end of the day you take decision based on polls, uh, and people complain, then it becomes their business. It's a case of people complaining about the result of an election when they didn't come out to vote. So sometimes too, I'm not saying you should take popular decisions all the time, but there are certain decisions you want to take that you know will affect everybody in the market. Even just calling the market operators is not enough. You have to call in people, the bottom of the ladder, the people who you are making these laws for. Call them to and solicit for their input. And that way, you have a well-rounded decision. So if anybody comes and is accusing you of taking a high-handed one, you say them, no, that wasn't the case. That you this was proper, there was proper deliberation. You invited everybody to the round table and all that. And that is how you came to these conclusions. But this whole idea of always, market is moving in a proper direction, and all of a sudden, you bring out a policy, and the the market is thinking about it. It's not something that is encouraging. We need more people in this market. It's the easiest way to create wealth in the market right now. And as much as possible, I don't know how much of a percentage of Nigerians are invested in the market. And these are the kind of things I expect SEC to be doing. It's not enough to say uh, there's more local participation in the market than foreign participation. We are talking of what is the value of participation, how much local is in the market, and how much uh, foreign is in the market. How many, you came out with a statistic that time saying that 60 million Nigerians are involved in gambling. We still do not have a clear uh, picture of people who are actively investing, because everything is like guesswork. Sometimes we see 200,000 active investors, sometimes we see 1 million. These are the things you can get your communication department in SEC to be releasing out, release things like that. And then based on that, people, when they see those statistics, people can see opportunities. And they say, okay, SEC, let's partner with you. Let's get more young people involved in stock market. So you can, like all these places where they go and bet, you can go and put an NGS signage there. You can put a liaison NGS office there and tell them, which do you want to choose? Do you want to bet your life away, or you want to invest in your future? You know, these are little things. Like, how many university students are actively investing in the Nigerian stock market? What is the NGS doing to encourage people to invest in the stock market? I was thinking their spaces will be a continuous thing. They've done like 3 spaces, and that is the end. But even the spaces they were doing were not the kind of spaces I was expecting from them. I'm not expecting the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ to come and tell me what to and how to invest. I want the Nigerian Stock Exchange to tell me that we have the infrastructure, we can provide real-time data, we are upgrading our facilities so that there be no glitch. I want the NASD, which is like a dead exchange, where we have some good companies listed there, to tell us what plans they have to catch up with the NGX. Give the NGX a run for its money. But at the end of the day, you'll find out that these organizations, they run like a cartel. They control everything within what they do. Because the question is, up to now, why is CSCS Nigeria the major, the cash cow of the NGX? The NGX is listed on the NGX, but CSCS Nigeria is listed on NASD. What is it doing there? What are you hiding? Why are you keeping those profits to yourself? These are the issues. Every year we keep hearing CSCS Nigeria is coming to NGX. And you just wonder why the dichotomy, why the division, why is the major owner of CSCS, NGS on the NGS, and CSCS is on NASD. When I talk now, they will say, oh, they are planning to list. How am I supposed to know that you are planning to list? Why am I supposed to believe that you are planning to list? What is the evidence? What is the sign that is there that you are planning to list? And what is the rationale for putting NGX, putting CSCS on a platform where they do not even have a trading machine? There's no liquidity. There's no visibility. And I think some of the good companies that are listed there are just listed there just to fulfill all righteousness so that the Oshoboles won't come after them. Because if they now say you have to list, they will not tell them we're already listed. But all things being equal, you would have expected that like a NASD would have been giving the NGS a run for its money. The listing requirements are less stringent. You don't have to file your result every quarter. File whenever you can file. And then give them incentive to come and list there. There's this thing they call lobby. Business is everywhere in the world lobby. You go to stakeholders, you lobby to get decisions to favor what you are going to do. It's allowed. You don't just sit down and fold your hands and then watch regulators take decisions that will wreck your company. You don't do that. You ask for a dialogue. You ask for what is going to make this possible? Because the way you are going about it now, these are the roadblocks. This is how it will affect the companies, which indirectly will translate down to the investors. And we want Nigeria to be an investor-friendly country. You go, you lobby, you make it possible. Just like I've been asking the CSCS to go to the National Assembly and get them to change that policy, which says it's registrars that should pay investors dividend, because it's not working. And just talking and talking won't do anything. Go to the National Assembly, get them, get a law now saying because of the failure of because of the amount of unclaimed dividend and the failure of the present system we are using, we now want we have now mandated that CSCS, the central registrar of all registrar, the central clearinghouse of all clearing houses, is now mandated to pay dividend, which they do which they do every day. When you buy shares and sell shares and those things settle, CSCS is already doing it. They don't need anything to do it. Why can't we go for simple wins like that? Why? Instead, it's T plus one, T plus two, T plus 100 that is not relevant. Nobody even felt the impact of T plus one, apart from maybe local investors who want to sell today, and get their money today. I hope it doesn't encourage gambling. You buy at the end of the day, get your 10%, and you sell. So we need everybody involved in this, and we just hope that at the end of the day, this is resolved as quickly as possible. As a matter of fact, the Minister of Trade and Investment, the Minister of Finance, the NGX, and SEC should be holding a roundtable We should not let this opportunity slip. Don't let pride get in the way, because that's what we do. We have this attitude of rubbing things on people's faces. Oh, we were here. We were doing well when you were not in the market. How? Who told you they completely left the market? I ask again, when you talk of this foreign and local participation, that you have more people contributing 20 million to less people contributing 100 million is not a case. That's not the case for the NGS to now start believing that they can do away without foreign investors. So I hope that we are doing this. There's one appointment that has really excited me in the last couple of days, and I just hope that uh, at the end of the day we get all round achievers in critical positions. Because if you don't understand the market and they put you in situations to make decisions like this, you are bound to take the wrong decision. The market does not care whether you are a professor or you have a PhD. It's not uh, it's not an avenue to come and show your educational prowess, because it's more than just having an education. It's about bringing reality to match whatever you want to implement. That it works in Malaysia does not mean it will work in Nigeria. We have to customize certain things to suit our environment. So I don't know, Onome. I don't know. It's just two of us that are on this space right now. I wish we could invite more people to.
Um, we well, I mean, we can take questions. Like I said, I dropped it. I can see the YouTube comments as they go on. Anyone has questions, feel free to drop them. Senko should be joining us at some point in time. Senko said he was going to join. Unfortunately, StreamYard is not very mobile friendly, so it's difficult for a lot of people to join on the go. But we're open to taking questions. So, see any questions, we would take them. Feel free to drop any questions that you have. There was a question on Narco. Why did he dip so much? I think. What are the chances of his going back to his previous all-time high? I see a couple of questions. AIT Insights. Yeah, Charles, you were saying there's a question. What appointment got you excited?
Okay, so for anybody in the capital market, um, you see that appointment that was made by FMDQ, Mr. Zil. That is an appointment that should get all Nigerians very, very excited. Very, very excited. And he just resumed office and he's going to turn around a lot of things. Unfortunately, um this FMDQ is a major shareholder of CSCS Nigeria. But unfortunately, there were some kind of conditions that was given to make the acquisition of CSCS shares possible. The FCCPC had to come in, and I think one of the conditions was they probably will not have a board seat on the CSCS. Because again, that is one person who I could have trusted to make some changes, especially when it comes to unpaid dividends. We should stop having issues with unpaid dividends. It should not be. It's not a problem. I repeat, unpaid dividend should not be a problem, and it's not a problem. The only reason why it's looking like a problem right now is because some cabals have made that their food. They benefit from it. Again, I'm going to explain this one last time. If you buy shares in the market, it settles with CSCS. If you sell shares in the market, it settles with CSCS. You make a choice. Do you want CSCS Nigeria to credit you to your bank account immediately your sales is made? The answer is yes. As long as you have a bank account in Nigeria, be it in Kano, be it in Warri, be it in Makodi, be it in Meduguri, once you sell and you settle for direct cash settlement, it will be deposited immediately your shares are sold. CSCS Nigeria has every person's uh, 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 account number, bank account number. They know when companies close their books. They know when you qualify for your shares, and they know when you close your books. So based on the fact that they can settle you anywhere you are in Nigeria or where your bank account is, delegate that responsibility to them. Companies can keep registrars. The registrars maintain the register for the company and their investor. However, because they have failed and our unclaimed dividend fund is going up every day, why don't we just apply the solution we already have? And the question is, what will be in it for CSCS Nigeria? By doing that, automatically, once you open a CSCS account, you must subscribe to CSCS online services, where you can view your shares you have with any broker online with CSCS. So it's probably like 7,000 now. Increase it to 10,000 naira for every investor, which will be paid yearly. But what does that guarantee you? It guarantees that you will have your dividend immediately is being paid. It's no longer in the hands of registrars. CSCS already have your records. They have everything. Just as they credit your bank account when you sell your shares, that's how they will be crediting your dividend when the dividends are declared electronically, and your bonus. Because I don't understand why it's taking, even when your PO shares are done, when you subscribe to a PO, immediately the registrar submits their advice. CSCS is automatically crediting your account with your shares. These are the things we can win. Small wins like that. Everybody is happy. They know I'm not going to be pursuing one registrar for dividend, because once they pay it, it's credited to my account. So the question is, why is it so difficult? I mean, like, even if they don't understand it, let them invite me and I will break it. I know they understand, but again, invite me, I'll break it down. If you want me to use pidgin English, I will use pidgin English to break it down for you. And I'm sure everybody who is listening to this understands exactly what I'm talking about. Why is it a problem? Why? Why can't we communicate this to every investor? Why can't CS if again, that's why I say it's a cabal. It's not like they don't know that they can do this. I know they know. They don't want to step on certain toes who are benefiting from this. Registrars has it's even good now that you will fill that NIBSS form and they will tell you your this thing will be credited. Some have failed and they've still not been credited. So we take your money, go and put it in government bonds. Wait for 6 months, take the profit, and then they before they credit you. You go, when they want to give you problem, they tell you your banker's confirmation signature is different from the signature you have on your stuff. Anything to delay it so that they don't pay you immediately. All that will be solved with CSCS Nigeria. And you can imagine if every account is getting that money every year from all investors in Nigeria. Do you know how much it adds to the bottom line of CSCS Nigeria? But you look at CSCS Nigeria, you look at NGX, you look at registrars, you look at brokers, you look at they're all together in one association. And you must not challenge status quo. We have been saying this thing over and over and over again. So who is that major market operator who has come to say, okay, you know what? I think this is brilliant. I think we should do this. No, they won't, because they all know the game they are playing. So FMDQ is going to do a lot of big things for Nigeria because you have one very, very capable person. And he's not just intelligent. The guy knows how to deal with people. Because that's the most intelligent part when you run an office. Your ability to feel everybody out, know what's going on and all that stuff. He's probably going to talk to everybody who works in that establishment. I trust him. He's that efficient. When you are talking of people who want to move this country forward, we've got one very good one there. But we need more than him. We need more of the zeals. Anyway, he hasn't even started. So let me not. I will. I've said it now. We will wait to see the transformation he will bring. FMDQ, they were going to go ahead and start their own exchange. I hope they continue. So it's either FMDQ is going to buy NGX out or NGX will buy FMDQ. The jury will be out on what will happen. But that's one fantastic appointment. Keep an eye on FMDQ. As per NACO falling, like I said, people defaulted to selling capitals, selling equities that would sell easily in the market. You cannot sell Red Star now. How much will you sell in Red Star? How much will you sell in Universal Insurance? How much will you sell in Austin Lars? These are not liquid. You are looking to sell the Zenith because you have a ready buyer. You are looking to sell the GTB, and that's why their price is dipped more than those other ones. It's not because anything was fundamentally wrong with NACO. And I just gave you asking whether NACO will get back to its position. I just gave an expose of about their new appointment. I just gave an expose of their new appointment. If you don't know Julius, go and Google who Julius Awotiga is of First Bank. So if First Bank is putting an eye on NACO, there's nothing that is stopping me from believing that Otedola is probably putting an eye on NACO. And talking about blue economy and all that, NACO is one of those that is said to benefit. Have you guys noticed that Dangote is now talking about blue economy? So you can't have NACO and be panicking. You can't have NACO and be panicking. Because if you look at, if you read their annual report, you should not be panicking. There are a lot of investment they are making. Anybody is panicking about what is happening in Ara there right now? I don't know what to tell you, because apparently you are too fixated on the price right now. Yes, you may have bought at 2,000. It doesn't mean anything. If they achieve a quarter of their investment, you'll be asking why you didn't buy more at 2,000, like maybe a couple of years down the road. And that's what investment is basically. Investment is investing in the stock market is not kalo kalo. It's not gambling. And I hear that cliche, don't invest what you cannot afford to lose. It's becoming a cliche to me. Because when we invest, we are not just investing based on luck. We are not banking on luck like a lottery. May God choose my number. That's not what we do. No. We are looking at the company, we are looking at the people, we are looking at numbers, we are crunching them, and we are entering the company based on the numbers that we have seen. If those numbers are accurate, then you are not putting money because you are scared of because you are scared you are not going to win. No, you have done your homework. The only time there's a problem is when those numbers are cooked. If they are not cooked, if you know your numbers, if you know the people, if you know the company, you put your money there. It's like don't take don't take a flight if you are not ready to die by die in the air. Or don't drive a car if you're not ready to die by accident. It doesn't. Investment has gone beyond that this thing. I know it's just trying to sound a note of caution to people, but it's the same. It's like saying don't take a car because if you don't want to die by a car accident, or don't fly if you don't want to die by a plane crash. These are calculated things that we do. It's not gambling. It's not praying to God to choose my number. It's not football. And once in a while, companies have a bad year. Once in a while, we have a black swan event, which creates a buying opportunity. And this is where Whatever is, anytime a situation like this happens, I expect more from stakeholders. I remember when Taiwo was tanking the market. I know some people will still want to argue it wasn't Taiwo that was tanking the market in November with all his reckless statements. When the then Minister of Finance came out and reassured investors that they will look in, just saying, we will look into it. The market went back up the next day. This is no time to be doubling down and rubbing it in people's face, saying it's not only akara and kulikuli, you also add pepper and okra and all that. Like that was totally uncalled for. That's very insensitive. But that's what we do. That's where communication is very important. This communication we are talking is very, very important. If you have said something and it divides opinion, and you know a lot of people look up to you, and it offends a section of those people, there's nothing wrong in coming out to say, that was not my intention. My intention was not to. I apologize if I offended any sensibility. It wasn't my intention. And if anybody was offended by what I said, I'm extremely sorry. What I meant was this. It's not going to kill you. But Nigerians, arrogance, pride, will double down. Who are you to tell me what to say? Is it not a grant? Is it a loan? Is it your money? Is it your what do you do to be giving out 1 billion? What do you do? Where's the source of income? Where are you getting that money? From the fake agencies they create and remit to you? These are the issues. And then we have a president introducing his wife as Iye Alakara. Why is communication such a big problem? We have Akpabio every time always misyanning, miscommunicating. We are talking of issues of national interest. You would turn the National Assembly into a comedy playground. And people wonder why they watch Esfikata and Pella when the number 3 man is the chief comedian of the federation. Because they don't know when it is to be serious. I don't know what their PRO people do for them. I don't know what their communication people do for them. But sometimes you just, what you say, you have to think about it properly. Especially, it's like me. There are a couple of people, they really do things that would, trigger you. But at the same time, I realize there are a lot of people who look up to me, who look up to us. So what do we do? Sometimes no response is better than opening your mouth and talking garbage. Let people think you're an idiot instead of opening your mouth to confirm that you are a real idiot. So we do definitely have a communication problem. And like I said, this is the time for everyone involved. Let's not miss this opportunity, because the stock market right now is the hope of the ordinary man. Unfortunately, I don't know how many Again, I don't know how many people are involved in the stock market. I don't have the true statistics because it's always something different. SEC would have been the best avenue for us to get those figures, but they are more interested in promoting T+1. Even with the T+1, the bank can create a problem for you. No network. So T+1 wasn't really T+2 wasn't really an issue if the drivers of our market, even though we delude ourselves in saying we have more local participation, if we had more local participation and the participation of the foreign investors didn't mean anything, I don't know why we are having this discussion right now. I don't know why we should be discussing the letter from FTSE Russell if they didn't mean anything in the market. Because some people are making it look like, after all, we are more in the market. Move the markets. The chief industrialist of Africa did IPO in dollars, not in naira. I was going through the books of some of his companies. Somebody wants to be the chief industrialist of Nigeria. Go and check how much he's donating to educational institutions. Go and check. How many industries have grown, have been produced from Dangote? Like, do we have do we have a spin-off? Do we have like an individual? Do we have like a company? Do we have like people who say, you know what, this was from my mentor, Dangote. I learned from him, and based on what I learned from him, that's what has given birth to this. We have advocated for calls. All companies should be doing calls so that at least they can communicate what they want to do. Do four calls in a year. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and final year-end call. So that we know where the company is going. Don't let us be putting things together. Again, I repeat, if Nigeria companies cannot tell their own stories, influencers will tell the stories for them. Because if you have nothing to hide, if you are doing very well, if you are a business that is restructuring, I think it's just important that your shareholders, your investors know what is going on. Rather than keeping everybody in the dark and making people make wild guesses. I yield the mic to Senko.
As Senko, just give me 5 minutes. Let me run through some of the questions here, and then you can take over. So I don't want to lose track of the questions. And it will also help for those who will be listening to the audio version. The audio version will go up as soon as we are done. It will be up on Spotify and other audio platforms. So there's a question on Champion Breweries and Japan Gold. I don't follow Japan Gold, so I don't know what's happening with that company. For champion breweries, I mean, maybe Senko will give me TA side of things. But from a fundamental basis, champion breweries is currently is probably the most expensive brewer at the moment. Let me
Mhm.
see if I can
Yeah,
pull out
yeah.
my
On
document.
Champions Brewery. Okay. We did everything possible to. They were on the verge of coming to the space with us, but again, last minute they decided to pull out. That was prior to consummation of the Bullet acquisition, and there've been some new appointments. Like anytime a company is making new appointments, I'm always very, very particular because I go and read about who they are appointing and stuff like that. And um, if you know the track history of the man behind uh, Champions Brewery right now, you will know that that's somebody who knows our market very, very well. Um, yes, everything is looking like expensive right now, but again, we are yet to see the synergy between for its acquisition of Bullet, and this picture will become clearer quarter by quarter. For those companies that just made acquisition, they're probably looking up to like maybe a year to see full synergy. But again, put into consideration now we are coming to that period where food, FMCGs, we start to dominate the space. Election is coming, okay? There'll be a lot of food and alcohol that will be ordered, shared, distributed, and all that stuff. So sometimes um, put that at the back of your mind when you are making those investments. So even the numbers, even though the numbers might not look attractive as they are right now, be rest assured that once you start seeing the synergy of the bullet transactions, those numbers will begin to make sense. And it's not going to be uh, rapid. It's going to be step by step by step because there are certain things, and this is where these companies, I always tell them, come out and tell your stories. Come out and tell your story. If you know Eric Idiahi, you will know he's somebody who never misses. Eric Idiahi does not miss with his investment. So the price has gone below the the public offer and right offer price, and he knows that. He's made some new appointments. Things are happening in the background. So again, you are buying into a company that was a local player transforming into a West African or African player right now. You have not seen what that synergy is going to bring yet. I will ask you, be patient. Be very, very patient. This is no time to be rash. For all we care now, maybe says they are completely, maybe their production for up to December is completely bought out by now because of the period we are entering, the election period, the Christmas period, the dirty December period. These are the times those breweries, those food and all that, they make money. So be patient. And if you have not made your orders, if political parties have not booked their orders now, you won't get. You are not going to get anything. They will tell you their production is bought up till December of 2026. So Sometimes too, you have to be street smart to survive in the market. Don't 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 get carried away by the price you are seeing, which is what a lot of people do. Look at the company, look at the people behind the company, look at what is going on with the company. They just finished the acquisition uh, of bullet transaction. Till today, we are only guessing how much we think they paid. We should not be guessing. A proper company will come, make those disclosures to its investors, tell them this is the timeline, so time, so time. By this time, you'll be seeing full synergy. And that time, your company has gone like 10 times what it used to be. Because if you are looking at it from the way it is right now, just because you are not seeing the bottom line, all you are seeing is the expenses, all the expenses they've spent in making the acquisition. The acquisition has not worked yet. So those numbers uh, might not give you the true picture. So it might look the most expensive as it is right now, but you have to trust the process sometimes. I shouldn't be doing this for them. I don't really know why I'm doing this for them. It's just because I understand what measures and acquisitions are, and I know every every company is not going to be like UAC. If there's one company that have the most competent, the highest caliber quality staff in the whole of Nigeria, you see UAC, you see Seplat, you see Aradel, top, 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 cream de la cream. Those are the top most people. These are like, you are looking for people who know what they are doing. Those are the places you go to find them. And those are the kind of people you can give your money and you say, you know what? I give you time to do whatever you want to do with it. Does it not baffle you that despite all that Chivita acquisition, when Fola, the CEO of UAC, went to the NGX and somebody was asking, are they going to raise money? Just like Shego Agbaje will tell you, Fola told them, no, I'm not raising any money. We don't have the need to raise any money. If ever that time comes, we'll let investors know. How many shares do how many shares what's the OS of UACN? Less than 3 billion. Less than 3 billion. Did the acquisition, they've structured stuff. If you're not into real financing, you won't understand some of those deals they did. Did some in dollars, did some in naira, you know, taking into cognizance what can happen in case of fluctuation and stuff like that. Crystallize some shares. So even of the 2.9 billion shares, not all of them is available for sale. No dilution after that acquisition. You people will see. You people will see madness when the time comes. Are we going to start talking about UACN again? No, we are not, because we've already talked about it. Those are not the stocks we talk about. We are always looking for stocks that would actually like create value for people. So if I say go and buy UACN now, well, depending on how deep your pocket is, ask yourself, how many UACN can you buy effectively? How many? So these are the issue. As for Japan Gold raised money some, was it a year and a half ago? They are going into a terrain that I'm looking at what they have. I don't know how much they can do. I will not I will not. Rather than put my money in a mining company, I will put my money in a company that finances mining, as the risk is less. So a company who is financing Japan Gold now, you say, okay, we've seen gold in Ogun State. We want to go and explore. Then they ask you to bring studies, geological studies. Why do you think there's gold there and all that and all that? You bring your studies and all that. And then based on that, the bank will call their own advisors, call professionals and ask, what is the chance of these things happening? And based on the chance, that will determine at how the rate they will give you financing to go and prosecute that project. These are very, very expensive projects. As a matter of fact, most companies involved in mining always have foreign affiliates. So they have a major investor, uh, investor who represents the interest of a foreign mining company who will take charge because there are a lot of mining companies in Ghana, and that's what they do. They will take charge of these uh, mining operations for the locals because the locals are still relatively new to the mining world. These people, that's what they do for a living. And they, in the process too, because they're already established in uh, whatever parts of the world they are based, their headquarters is based, they bring some finance into it. So that if they miss, well, because most of the money is coming from the uh, uh, affiliated foreign company, they take it up in their chain and go and look for the next place to explore. But I'm looking at Japan. I'm looking at the people who make up Japan. Anytime you hear that name, Paul Jagede, anytime you hear the name Wale Tinubu, my friend, if you are in Nigeria investment market, we only have one advice for you: run. Some of these companies are still existing today because of nepotism. If you change the management of some of these companies right now, they will turn around. Because I just don't understand how a company, an oil exploration company, that was able to take over the operations of any Ajib before they even thought about buying any. Seplat has been on mobile. Owando's deal was approved even before Seplat's deal. Clear case of nepotism. It's not to be making audacious statements. Show working, zero. So again, you look at Japan, you look at Paul Jegede, he's still on that board. Mm-mm. I don't know. I don't know if any good can come out from it. Mining is a very expensive venture. It's very, very expensive. They can they can go and do one mining now. All the money they put there, nothing comes out, zero. They'll tell you the gold is not of commercial quality. We can't do anything with it. because you are taking the risk directly. But for a mining financing company, they give you the loan, they give you the money. If you hit, you will give them equity as part of your hit. If you don't hit, you will still pay the money. And now everybody is talking about mining. All of a sudden, we are hearing we have mining companies in Nigeria. I said this before. All this fighting you are thinking is just bandits, terrorists, driving a whole village away. There's more to it than meets the eye. When the World Bank is saying that we have spent money we did not budget for, and people are defending and all that, they see everything, they know what's going on. You can come and lie to us and defend the government with all you want to do and describe us as not in the know, we don't know what's going on. But there are people who know these things. There are people who cut out minerals from this country every evening, escorted by armed forces. So as for Japan, I don't know, my friend. Just because, again, the the business is very, very expensive. You can put all the money there and lose everything. I don't know. I will wait for Japan to discover something first before I invest in it. Let me put it that way. Don't get carried away by Japan gold and all that. You when you transition from maritime business to gold mining and all that, what did you do to sensitize your investors about the restructuring, the transitioning? What did you do? You see where communication comes in again. When tantalizers, when they were transitioning from a quick service restaurant to blue economy to fisheries to entertainment, they went to the NGX and they informed the public. Did they not? For those who want to laugh, for those who do not see beyond now. And I've told people, my business is not to be right. Even in all this, I could still be wrong. But at least I'm working on information. We are working on information. We send people to go and do investigation on the trawlers that came from the United States. We've seen a situation where a company has taken a stake in the entertainment business. So from a quick service restaurant like Domino's, you have transitioned into an entertainment company, buying studios, getting some of the best cinematographers and film producers in Nigeria, starting up a game show, getting trawlers. But you are there fixated on the price now because you expect it to just flip around. We go out of our way, get this, do this due diligence. Then you come and say, after all, I don't have Tantalizer in my portfolio. I don't have Linkashore in my portfolio. I don't have Regalins in my portfolio. Fola Adiola is a major shareholder in Linkashore. Idiot. You think you know better than him? You think you know better than Fola Adiola? At the end of the day, we just do this. And no matter what you do, we are never going to stop. And I know it's difficult for people to comprehend how people do this selflessly. We are wired differently. We are different. At the end of the day, how much money do you even need in this life? So not every motivation is driven by money. Because when people lie about what they want to achieve, you can see it easily. I want to industrialize Africa. Fine. Your donations to school, 1.5 billion, 1.5 million naira. That's how you want to industrialize Africa. I want to democratize wealth. See how easy it was for a foreigner to come and interview you. If we had a Nigerian version of that person now, they will kick him out. I've never seen rich people who want to democratize wealth. They don't. If you want to democratize wealth, explain to the world why you listed during the divestment of UBA, you listed Africa Prudential and African UB Capital on the NGX, and you took Afriland to NASD. Tell them why you did that. I know why, and don't let me say it. People are happy. You released a stinker of a result. People kept asking, explain, explain. The people were just dancing around the bush. I saw one interview yesterday that featured Arnold and Ugo Dre of Drinks and Mics and Nairametrics. Arnold too is a regular crew of the Nairametric team on Arise. Shout out to Folake. She has the best business show in the whole of Africa. I'm saying it with my full chest. If you have not seen it, go and look for it. We were discussing this T+1. Folake is the number one anchor of a business of what a business show should be. It's so smooth, like you know this person knows what she's talking about. Not regimented interviews. You watch some shows. There's nothing to take away from it. And they broke it down very, very well. They broke down T+1, the implication for the market, uh, what's the solution and all that. And they just brought everything together. You listen to people like that, you get better, you get wiser, you get ideas. And then you go and read further to see if there's anything that you can add to what you have just watched. So with investments, there are a lot of things involved. It's not just what you see on the paper. No. And I asked this question before. There's nothing that stops you from calling a company you want to invest in. Can I speak with the investors relations, please? Okay, I'm looking at investing in your company. I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this. Is there any way you can explain this? We have all the social media platforms that are available. And no company has deemed it necessary, has taken it as a matter of urgency. You know what? Every month, I must have an audience with my uh, investors. See, I'm trying to explain merger and acquisition and how much time it takes for it to see the benefit for Champions Brewery. Who could have done this on their own? I trust the people who run that company. And once they hit that critical point where the efficiency has reached the peak point, it just continues to grow from there. Go and check the history of Monster Energy Drink. Go and check the ticker symbol. Go and check how much percentage Monster has done from its inception till date. Mad returns. So sometimes you need to be patient about this stuff. Anybody is buying Champions Breweries now, let us see. I always say this, let us see, let's compare notes in 5 to 10 years, God keeping us alive. So it's not something you'll be regretting buying for those who are, if you are not an ethical investor, if you want to expose yourself to the breweries, it's not something you regret buying. So relax. Onome, is there any more question on the questions and answer or questions side that I can help
There are a
you
few
ask?
more. There are a few more questions, but I think since it's almost 9, we'll just let Senko run for the
Okay,
next
okay, sorry, I
30
just
minutes.
forgot.
Then,
And
yeah.
anyways, this was going to run longer than this, but I know Nigerians, we all love football. Like me, I've told people my dream is to be going to watch these matches live, not watching from my TV screen, but we respect that. So sorry, I almost forgot. Senko,
All
Senko, are you
right.
there?
Yeah. Can everybody hear me? Uh,
Yes, we can.
Loud and
all right.
clear.
I won't take too much time. I'll just maybe try and see if I can wrap up my submission mm, before maybe before 9:15. But Charles has said everything. First of all, we don't do these kind of things to just come and drink tea and we go home. I will touch on this. For instance, or for those guys that always try to quote people, um, not even actually do their own work or even think that they can actually uh be this kind of person or be this kind of uh be independent. That's the right word. And for this community, the critical circle community, we why we do this every day is not just to be financially free, to teach people to be financially free, also to teach people to think independently. And you hear Charles always complain about critical reasoning of so many Nigerians. When you have a conversation with two persons or two or more persons, um you get worried, and these days you ask yourself if actually people really actually went to school and every other thing. But again, I'm not throwing shit at anybody. The goal here is, why do we know all these things? If I ask Onome now and I ask Charles, Charles, did you definitely, if there's a serious interview, okay, you want to prepare for it? These days we don't read anything. Why? Because we understand why how this market works. And if I asked Charles now if he read, Charles, did you read anything before coming to this live, YouTube live? The answer is no. If I ask Onome the same thing, why? Because again, we keep doing these things every day effortlessly. And if you are that kind of person that don't want to quote somebody's, I've never seen your own analysis, never seen anything, but you want to prove people wrong. We are not in this place to come and prove anybody wrong. We are just here to just, you know, um pass our message and also impact on people's life. And if you are such person that you always quote people, not actually do your own due diligence, and you don't even believe, that's what we call low self-esteem. And we want to take that off. I want people to to you know uh come up talk to us. Let's have a quality conversation. And it's okay for you to disagree. You don't have to agree with whatever each of the, even Charles, sometimes when we even have our personal call with Onome and every other person. I mean, and show Charles sometimes doesn't agree. Onome too doesn't agree. We look, but respectfully, and everybody pass on that message. Which takes me to the NGX. Like I said, whatever data that the NGX always share, regarding diaspora, I mean, regarding the domestic guys, um, in the market. The answer is we have seen the answer. November is an example. Then again, we are seeing this um this was run in June 2026. Yes, in 2 months, the market has lost about over 11 trillion naira. Do you know what 11 trillion naira is? Just losing like out. I saw somebody on the WhatsApp forum said, "Oh, it was paper loss." No, it's not paper loss. Actual money left the market. Actual money left the market, and that money again, you could see how there was pressure over the past few days. You saw pressure on the dollar, right? So definitely that money was being converted into dollar. Naira, that's on the parallel market. We're seeing naira depreciating in value. And I always tell people that this NGS data that they tell us, oh, it's largely dominated by the market. I mean, by the domestic guys. That is false, because that data is flawed. Because NGS cannot tell me that there are many now diasporans, just as Charles was rightly mentioned, that they use the fintech apps to convert their money into naira, from pounds into naira. From, so will I call them local? The answer is no. I can't call them local. They are part of the foreign guys, because it is what, money coming into the economy. So how do you track that? How do you track that? Then you now look at the smaller part of the foreign institution. Even when you say, oh, they are small, of course I agree with you, but you cannot take out the quantum of, just imagine somebody bringing in $10 million to just buy a stock. You, like, with your exchange rate and every other thing, these things are cheaper for these guys. They do not have to spend too much money before they make some good money off our market. It just shows you how our market is very cheap. And then I start hearing people talk about ignorant people talking about, oh, people are looking at the market like as if it is a Ponzi scheme. No, because you were made to believe that the market is supposed to be depressed, and God, maybe because of how Buhari has maybe turned your brain to make sure that our market cannot survive. And you should wake up from your slumber, because in 2014 to 2008, we've not gotten to those levels. Even 2018, we've not gotten to 2018 levels. I can show you on the chart. It's just because you are ignorant. And I'm sorry, because you just believe that the market is, you've not seen that kind of run. Oh, the market's not supposed to. No, the naira, if you look at the naira in dollar terms, that these things are still cheap. They're still cheap. At the end of the day, today on the Telegram session, I told them, and we looked at the document that the CIS wrote, the article, and I was like, what were you saying? They were just rambling. I was disappointed, because this is a credible institution for professionals that take their exams and they want to be, have that this thing again. Yeah, but they didn't do anything, or they didn't say anything to solve the actual problem. Instead, they were just advocating that, oh, this is a very good move, If you look at Pakistan, no, the question is not about Pakistan. How is it going to help? How is it favorable to the foreign guys? And if this verdict comes, I don't want to scare people, but if this verdict comes bad, I'm going to blame the CSCS, SEC, and the NGX, and we will have an emergency space because we're still under the unclassified market. And you're not telling these guys again, if they don't include us in this frontier index, because again, we expect that we should be seeing some kind of movement. We don't have. I'm not saying come to the TV and tell us, "Oh, we are working." No, 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 no. We need to see some positivity. And you see, the NGS chairman is docile. He's not saying anything. He's not saying anything. I don't want that kind of NGS chairman that. I mean, the NGS MD or whatever, the head of the end, he knows himself. I don't want to call anybody's name on this live. At the end of the day, we are begging you to say something. Anyways, like I've said, we've said, there are two things, like I said, two to three things affecting the markets, especially the liquidity. And liquidity is very important. T+1. Sometimes I see that thing as I think we are setting ourselves up. You said today, somebody's already withdrawing that money. Imagine an institution that does need something and spoils the run and they'll say, oh, let me capitalize on this. Make some about maybe 500 million or 300 million now, and instantly they sell. They book their profits instantly for their. I'm just thinking about many things because I'm in the industry and how this thing is not might not just be sweet. Instantly you are selling. The following day, the money is after one day, money is landing into your distance. They don't have to buy again. They've met their targets. Let me not say some things on this thing. I don't trust us. I don't trust this T+1, especially for fund managers and all these things. I don't trust that T+1, and I don't know. Anyways, again, let me just say, I don't want to hog the mic for too long. I don't want to show. I don't want to. I would have just shared my screen, and we discuss about that. But
Senko, I think you can actually share your screen now. I mean, even if it's the next 15-20 minutes, seeing that
okay,
it's a
great.
video platform, let me look for how to. I can't remember what we did yesterday.
I think you added the screen.
Okay, yeah.
And I think this phase can go on longer than
Can we bring up people?
no, I think it's Brazil and Norway that is playing right now. So
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
Okay.
important.
I think the
So
match
when
people
is
really want to see
the
is
England match is when?
England and Mexico. I think that's around 3 hours from now. So yeah, I think we can
Wow.
continue. Yeah.
Okay, so we can run till about we've run for 1 hour 44 minutes. So I guess we can run for another 1 hour.
Yeah, something like that. I think and
Okay.
anyway, again, they are listening. They can be listening and watching their match. I don't see anything how that affects their life. Anybody wants
Okay.
to, they can always come back to listen.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Senkos, I see you've shared your screen. I will add it to the stage now so it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay, let's go back and let's just start with the ASI. And I keep on telling people these things. And like I've said, or I've always said, the markets, we expected this correction. Go and listen to all our spaces because, again, you see some people that are coming to the space to come and, say one or two things that I don't understand. So we said this around April, May that we expect a pullback. And if you remember, if you look at the ASI, if you go to my X timeline to check my listening, I said that the ASI was already consolidating around the 250,000, and the weakness was showing distribution. And all of a sudden, we got a breakdown. And I said, and I recall in my analysis before this thing played out to 239, and by we're almost at 223,000. I said there are two levels I'm watching. This 239,000. I expect a bounce from there. Oh, we tried. The ASI tried to recover, and again we got a dead cat bounce, and we came back to almost 223,000. Now, what do I expect for the ASI to do? For now, all I expect is I don't expect too much volatility on RRL. I don't expect those crazy sales that we saw. You again, for those that want to read the detailed analysis, and I said it could have been managed properly if RRL had a good market maker. I don't think there was could have been managed properly. Would have seen that kind of would have seen a good absorption from the but we didn't see that. um Again, you can't hold insiders that have been locked up for over 6 months not to sell. But again, this shows again largely shows how inefficient our market is in terms of liquidity. And so when I see people just talking about liquidity, and I ask question, do you know what liquidity is? Do you know what how markets being run and every other thing? So again, like I said again yesterday's space, I said the moment where we are going to have a dead cat bounce is when we break this zone. We break this zone, then I know that it's over. We are coming back to the 202,000 to 204,000 region. And uh, at the end of the day, so this is what we um I'm looking out for the market. But for now, all I want to do is for market to consolidate for a while. The ASI consolidates. Now that results will be coming out for companies, ASI consolidates. I'm not expecting too much movement. Maybe too much. We might just be seeing some good bounces around across some key companies that have held very well before. But I'm not looking at ASI running riots to 239,000 like that. Even if we are even going to run riots to 239,000, I expect a rejection because now this place is now a resistance zone, and it will take a lot for us to break that zone and continue so the upward trajectory. But also again, we should put in at the back of our mind that 50, we should put our mind that in August we'll know the real issue. If we are going to be added to the index or we're going to be removed from the index. Also, the other one is the IPO again, which again for another man, which is not going to be good. And at the end of the day, I expect another movement. No matter what we say here, I still know that some people here, even that as they are on this live, they're already looking for what to sell to go and partake in the Dangote's IPO. I wish you guys luck. I know some people don't listen, so at the end of the day, yeah. So, as the case may be, the ASI for now, I just expect some cool off. Anything again, the only caveat here is Airtel coming to come and do another thing. And me, I'm not looking at Airtel as a main catalyst. If Airtel comes, does another 10%, you know that is a buyback. So discount it from the ASI because that's not what I'm not going to be. So because I know some people will say, the ASI and Seco said we are going to no. Discount it. So except we start seeing fresh funds coming into the market. For now, we've not seen that. For now, there are still uncertainties in the market. For now, we just have to watch and continue to observe what the market is saying. Okay. For now, what am I also watching? World index. I'm not going to talk about any. Well, am I watching? Let's look at I'll be looking at the banking index. First of all, I'll look at banking index. So I was explaining something. For now, the banking index must not lose this zone. They lose this zone, we come back to the 1875.7 point. What do I expect? Now, again, there's also uncertainty around the banking stocks, and we have started seeing some people saying that they want to pay dividends. These gimmicks. I think we should even have a space where we'll have to call the CBN, um, all regulatory parties. I mean, all regulatory uh, organization, that is it fair for companies to be, playing, using some kind of words to play with with investors or shareholders, like playing on their intelligence, and is it nice for them to do such thing? So we need to hear from the regulators, because when you say, oh, we want to pay dividend, means that 95% there's a possibility that, oh, you might be paying dividend. And at the end of the day, when you now release that result, and the apex regulator does not allow you to pay that dividend, then you have deceived the market, you've lied to your investors, because again, integrity should be number one. And two banks have lied, or they've lied or told lies to their investors, and they have used the CBN name to lie. They said the CBN did not allow them to pay dividend. CBN, come out and tell us if these guys used your name to lie. If they use your name to lie, please punish them. Give them serious penalties that they can't pay, so that it will serve as a what? A deterrence, that anybody that come to the space to use us to lie, or to just try to score points from investors, this is the punishment that you get. So again, in the banking space, there are two things, and if you missed our framework, our space where I spoke about the holdco regulatory framework. This is one of the major things in the holdco regulatory framework. So please go back to that space and listen to that space. So the CBN needs to come out and tell us, what do you expect from these guys that actually have a holdco, or they run a holdco structure? I mean, that run an holdco structure. Tell us what they should expect, and all those things like that. We are seeing that in the banks. Also again, we need to also how can I put it again? Also again, we need to also watch the space. The banking space is very important. That's for Zenith, GTCO. There have been some good haircuts for Zenith and GTCO, and these are the only two banks credible, and Wema Bank. These are only three banks that I can, buy for short-term gains. And again, anything we say here is not a financial advice. Any other bank, I'm not going to talk about them, because there are a lot of controversies around those banks, and a lot of people do not agree with me. Yeah, I don't care if you agree with me or not regarding the remaining two banks. But the major banks, Zenith, ladies and gentlemen, Zenith is trading at a cheaper valuation. GTCO, there was at a point in time, Zenith was trading at a very cheaper valuation. Now GTCO 2 trading at 121, 120, closer to 120 psychological zone, and I'm also looking at the 103 levels for, as you can see on my chart, for GTCO. This was when they hit a new all-time high in 2025, August 2025. This was the there was a liquidity grab here, so it's looking like they might lose this zone, the 120 psychological level, and this region it would just be good when the market starts cleaning up. Market cleaning up this liquidity. So we just see something like this, something like this, something like this, like something like this, then something like this, pick up and maybe a V shape recovers this, then something like that. But that's just what I want to see GTCO do. GTCO trade again, trading at 120 cheap. If anything around the sub 120 region, this gap needs to be cleaned up, and it will be nice to see GTCO there. There's no, if I see GTCO at these levels, I don't care even if it drops below 100 now, but GTCO are trading at this region will be a very nice place to to enjoy. Um Moving away from the bank, I'm not going to talk about NGX INS. I've flogged it too much. Um I flogged it too much. So for NGX INS, go and listen to us like that. Now let's see. The only thing that I'm not going to talk about oil and gas. I talk about look at WAPCO. I mean industrials. So the only and Dangote cement, something good happening for Dangote of cement. Again, if you look at my analysis, please go and read some of I wrote about the blue chip stocks. Just based on technicals, I saw some people asking about, oh, why did I talk about fundamentals? Onome is covering the fundamental aspect, so follow Onome on his X handle, follow him on the especially for the YouTube. YouTube is where you get premium content on those companies. So if my boss is already doing the fundamentals, why should I be flogging that? So, but I cover the macro aspect too, and there was no point for me to be covering any macro for R&D. I only just wanted to stick to the technicals and talk about what the technicals is actually saying. Well, I don't see Waco again. Waco coming to these levels to trade these levels. I I'll just go and look for all the dry powder powder in this world. Buy. But like I said, Waco is already trading our first level. For Waco to fall for that, which again I don't see happening. But again, it's the market. Anything is possible, you know. Market falling, back to this, like market dropping 25% or 26%. To this, there doesn't like means that something terrible is happening. So, but for WAPCO, but I expect some like a recovery back to this zone, and it will be a glorious opportunity for me to buy to beat this, for me to just beat at these levels. But for now, WAPCO is trading at a cheaper valuation and every other thing. So for WAPCO, then go to Dangote Cement. Sorry guys, can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
So for Dangote Cement, so the board on Friday approved that Dangote Cement, I mean, they can start. They've approved the listing, the process of listing on the London Stock Exchange, which is good. Dangote Cement is 25% down. Again, same pattern with Haradel. Dangote Cement now, well, for me, is already cheap. Like, we've closed this gap that was created in April 2026, and we're back to this zone. What do I expect? I want to see that we hold this level. Failure to hold this level means that we'll come back to the 2024 all-time yearly high, which again gives another good incredible position. And don't forget again that it's already JP Morgan was already appointed for the transaction for the listing. What do you think? What do you expect? Dangote will be selling at a good definitely they are working with the big 10 banks. So they don't want to sell price Dangote at a very good premium when they are listing on the London Stock Exchange. They are not begging. So they want to sell, they want to sell at a maybe a 2x valuation. It does depend on what that's if again pending that LSC, but I expect LSC to approve the listing. And maybe we might just be seeing Dangote Cement trade on the London Stock Exchange from September. A lot is going on with Dangote, from the refinery to the cement, from cement to sugar. Everything just all one man, and he's going in hard. I've not seen Dangote play this way before. We hit, don't forget, our target was 1,000, and Dangote still blessed us again to 1,189. I mean, we hit 1,189 whole time high, and Dangote now down by 25%. This zone has been cleaned up. I mean, the gap has been filled. That was on Friday, and Dangote Cement again at 763, and this region is still cheap, if you ask me. And Dangote Cement trading at this go. What I expect, maybe consolidation around these levels. And if it's certain, when we start seeing price start moving, reversing back and breaking this resistance, I mean this psychological resistance level, there we should be seeing that we should be certain that the listing might be approved. That's only one way to check this thing. So moving away from that, we flogged MTN. If you miss the MTN arbitrage, then I'm sorry for you. But again, if you look at this volume nodes, last 3 weeks, 32 million traded, 33 million, I mean roughly 33 million. Last 2 weeks, 38 million. Last week, 27 million. As an average of, if I do that, that's an average of 30 million units traded. Which, again, let me say it again, which was dominated by the buyers. Even despite MTN opening a gap down, that was last week. We opened a gap down, a 9% gap down, 10% gap down, and came back. You could see that MTN has respected all key levels. Even if MTN is even coming back to the 3650, which I doubt, but anything again can happen in the market. We'll come back to 650 psychological support level. I mean psychological level. I still expect that these buyers will still dominate MTN. And I said again in one of my ASI analysis, I said the only MTN can be might be the major catalyst that will drive the market. And I still stand by my words by saying that. And all of a sudden, again, something that is just coming in my head, that you just see that the we just hear an announcement that they've met with the FTSE, and FTSE is happy and positive about all these things, and you start seeing market repricing and everything start going up again. But in all, we are not waiting for that. As long as the fundamentals of these companies are strong, as long as the macros are saying that there's no problem for now, even though we are moving into the election period, I say, why should you panic? Why are you panicking? Why are you panicking? Why? Because you can sell. As long as everything is fine. Again, I don't know what to say. Why are you panicking? The only thing that is beyond our control, like the CGT, was beyond our control. You can't expect you can't tell how the market will react to one kind of news. Is it that it's favorable to you, or you take your money elsewhere? You're looking at again, you're looking at safety nets. You're looking at your margin of safety. Where should can I take my capital elsewhere? So these are questions that investors, and there's no hard feeling. And if you now start praying to God, there's no God in the markets. When you start praying to God, it does exist. It's just simple thing. We are playing with a machine and human beings. So, like I said again, I'm not going to flog this thing again. I'm not going to talk about any mid-cap stock before they think that again, we're not influencers. We only speak to what the market is saying. And I spoke about the initiate. Remember? So I'll just add this, and I'll drop my, and I'll stop, I will just hand over to this. And I explained as that there was a if you look at my the initiate analysis, I said an armor that was found 49 million 31 310,000 units were traded. You don't see that. And look at the way, the manner at which the initiate respected this zone. And this stock is down from 42.3, down. It was down before on Friday by 50, like roughly 50%. And because of that reversal, the stock is down by 39%. And you can go to my timeline to check if to check the detail of that analysis. So again, if this does not tell you that something is brewing for the initiate, then I could be wrong. Maybe again you can go again. I'm telling you, I refer you back again to the analysis. Go watch what I said. Go listen to what I said. So what am I missing again? What am I missing? Hopefully, I expect the NGX to be smart about this. One bad policy. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. Now, let me wrap up my submission by saying something. Macros could be good. Companies could report the companies could report strong numbers. They could have strong earnings, good valuation, everything is fine. But the unforeseen circumstances, just one bad policy. And I always tell people that Nigeria is a volatile economy, and this is an example of a volatile economy. November, one stupid news, everything went because of CGT confusion. Investors were confused. We saw that crazy sell-off just in one day, 5 point something percent, 5.2% down by the ASI in one day. Then we saw another one again, June again, and this is even worse than what happened in 2025 November. So one bad policy takes everything back to zero. Not zero, takes everything bad. And there are some persons that I don't know if they do it purposely, that they just want to just test the fate of the market. If our market was largely driven by domestic participants, we should not be having this kind of fall. And I was just laughing at people that say, I don't want to go back to everything that Charles said. I stand by it, and he's correct. I don't need to come and tell you the data. The foreign I stopped doing that because when you do something for free for people, you start seeing some people telling you, quoting where they watch this thing. That's why I said be independent. That is why we're trying to pass our message. We're trying to tell people, we're trying to make sure teach people to be independent. You can come up and argue and bring your own case, and everybody is happy. Your opinions are respected. This is the only platform that all opinions are respected. Even when you say we are stupid, I've seen so many people insult me on the comment section. I don't care. So be independent. That's the message. My message is to everybody here, because at one point in time, yes, we love the markets. We might not be here forever. So be independent. That's why, and I've been preaching this for the past 6 years. I want everyone to know, when you can analyze these things yourself, when you can put these numbers yourself. And on our Telegram, we've done, even Onome has done videos. He did beginner series. You can do this yourself so that you can have, or you can make informed decision rather than depending on somebody's analysis. Again, and for those that use maybe AI to analyze financials, especially if you don't have strong hand in these things, and Onome has done that video, he has done videos, of it, please stop. Stop. So I saw somebody using AI, and the AI told him to go and buy Geregu. Ha! Ha! I'll talk about this AI investment that people are using. AI will put many people in trouble. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for having me. Um, Over to you, Onome.
All right. Um, let's see. I see. I see a couple of questions. I think I'll take the questions. Starting for the most recent. So Chiamaka Dangote Cement closed at sub 900, closed at 891. Um, so I don't know how much lower below 900 you're looking at. Dangote Cement closed at 891 um, on Friday. So it closed flat at 891, I believe, on Friday. So it's already sub 900 share. WAPCO and delisting or not delisting. Um, I the thing about Chinese is they don't really talk much. So, but really, it will be a struggle for WAPCO to delist because delisting means they're going to you want to buy out minority, and yeah, if you're going to do so with where WAPCO is trading at what around 290 or so. You're going to buy people out. You're looking at maybe 300, 400, 500. I don't think they want to spend that money. Um, so Akin Taiwo, what I think Senko myself was saying is the private placement that Dangote Refinery did was priced in USD. The private placement was priced in USD, and so people actually had to pay for that private placement um, in USD. Now, for the public offer, there's investor interest from outside the country. So I don't know how the mechanics will be, but if you have foreign investors interested in that public offer, they would they would, I mean, are they going to convert the USD to Naira? Maybe. If not, we'll have to find some arrangement for them. In any case, um, we, the initial plan, I don't know if it's still holding, is that refinery was supposed to have a dual listing across multiple exchanges. So whether that is still the case or that will be the case, um, I don't know. It's CBN forcing banks to localize data by 2027. Can local infrastructure handle it, and with which Nigerian stocks will be the biggest? I mean, first is we just have to see how that policy is going to be implemented because 2027 is just 6 7 months away. For a lot of this data is kind of already localized, so um, there are already players that are involved in this space as well. So it might not give that much of a bounce. In any case, the best party to ask this will be MTN Nigeria and Airtel. I'm not too sure of when Airtel's next set of results will be released, but I'm sure by the towards the end of the month, MTN Nigeria will drop H1 numbers and they'll do a call, so people can always ask questions about that. Airtel, same thing. Airtel will give you advance notice about when they will do a call. We're going back to T plus two cause panic in the market. No, it won't cause panic in the market. It's not really a big deal. Um, it will cause panic in the market. So no, that's unlikely to cause panic. In any case, what some people have posited is there should be a two-train solution. So you can say domestic investors T plus one, foreign investors T plus two. Even though I'd argue that that's a dichotomy, but there are so many ways they can walk around this. Uh, Thoughts on appointment of Shegun Olukechi, the former CEO of Women Bank, as the chairman of Chams board? Uh, will the connections be beneficial to Chams? I don't see. I mean, first is he's left. He's no more CEO of Women Bank. He's not a majority shareholder in Women Bank, so really, I don't see whatever relationship they have will probably be tech related relationship. So I mean, it's early days yet. Let's see how it goes. Um, Another year or two, can see how it goes. So that is for the questions I've seen so far. I've answered all the questions from AIT Insights. Are there any other questions? Um, I've seen other questions. So did we call it a day in the absence of any other questions? I think I pretty much answered every question that came in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just maybe I don't know, but we'll find a way to get more audience participation. Even if it's meaning if we have to bring them to speak. We hope we have better luck next time with Twitter, because Twitter was acting up today. Uh, I see all the fears with HBM. Just be rest assured that nothing of such is happening uh, in the immediate future, and it's not something that is going to pass easily. So I see a lot of people expressing fears about HBM delisting. That's not happening anytime soon. And like I don't know if it's Onome or somebody who said the one of the board members or one of the executives was buying shares for a company that is delisting. Um, the chief executive will now be buying shares on the floor. Um, the appointment of that gentleman in Wema Bank, he has other companies he's running. And if you ask me, I think given the track records of the companies, he's also part of, I don't see anything special. I'm still trying to find out more about him. But I just think the charm story is one story we really need to hear. I'm happy the former founder is gone because he had a reputation in the market, which a lot of people didn't like. And yeah, I think he's out of the way now. We need to see some young, dynamic people run that company. I think it's one company that really, really needs to tell its story. To think uh, Charms have like seven, Charms has like seven subsidiaries, and we don't even know much about them. Is just crazy. If they tell their story properly, then we'll have a better valuation of the company as it is. But right now, they need to come out and tell their story. Uh, their PRO, their communication department, they need to do better. We've noticed something. There's been a lot of movement on the equity, and that's the only way. When we see unusual volume in an equity, we know something is happening there. But whatever the story is, we don't know. We know they were supposed to launch their new card center, which was postponed. Um, they should be playing a very integral part in the Nigerian elections by way of the technology they will provide. But again, we don't know. Like for a proactive company, these are the kind of information they should be letting their shareholders know, to let them know that the money that was raised from the right issue is being put into proper utilization. But we are always, it looks like we're always forcing these companies to come and present themselves. And uh, it's not, you don't, the NGS does not need to revert to T+2. Leave it the way it is, and look at people who have done it before and see what they did. Uh, there are certain stocks. foreign investors will never touch. You can leave those stocks at T plus one. After all, it's the same market that will have different rules for price movement. So these rules and regulations can live side by side, uh, give the foreign investors enough time to adjust to maybe the T plus one, give them like a 1 year to a 2 year window to adjust to that. And that after that, they would have gotten used to it. And by the time T plus one takes off effectively, then there shouldn't be any issue. And going forward, let's just form the habit of doing proper consultation. Like I said, I hope we learn, but I don't know whether we are a people who learn from history, because CGT was just around the corner, and we didn't score anything with CGT. To think the NGX allowed didn't couldn't put any kind of resistance to the 25% tax being imposed on the NGS is such a shame. It's such a big shame. Again and again, based on all that is happening, if you want to really make Nigeria a very attractive uh, destination center for investors, you can always revisit it. You can always rewrite this stuff. It's just that we spend way more than we get. We have to curb our spending habits, and maybe that should send a clear message to government to cut off on all unnecessary spending, cut off all unnecessary agency. But I know I'm just uh, I'm just talking to myself here, because I know that will never happen. Not with the kind of government that we have right now. But I still think we have to make Nigeria as attractive as possible. If people want to go and invest in South Africa and they see how friendly our tax system is, they will professionally come here to invest. So we could always keep working on some of these policies to make them better, and let's hope that we have a better market at the end of the day. Uh, I don't see any more question. Unfortunately, a couple of people are still waiting for their tip allocation. Um, I am going to give April registrar this one more week to clarify everything. If I'm still getting complaints or if we are still getting complaints by the end of this week about non-allocation of shares that people applied for, then I will start asking the management of Apex Capital to come to the space to explain to people why anybody will want to partake in anything being done by Apex Registrar and Apex Stockbroking, whatever. Once they are an underwriter in any deal, why anybody will want to partake in it if they cannot fulfill their end of the bargain, because it's becoming ridiculous. And I think it's hard time. We need to start punishing some of these organizations for their misdeeds. Um, Dangote cement at 9:30. Well, I mean, like, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's cheap. All the cement companies are cheap. WAPCO is probably the cheapest. Dangote cement has a lot going for it. The fact that they are going to list in London very soon is a big plus. For NACO, I don't know what more incentive you need to buy more NACO when they are when some interested parties are looking around. You understand? I was making a statement about uh, the one of the executive directors of First Bank taking a position in NACO as a non-executive director. So keep an eye on that. That's something that could run. The Dangote Sugar Refinery right offer is ended now. Let's see how long it takes them to credit the money, and let's see if it was a successful offer. Even though we haven't heard uh, the results of the NIMET pharmaceutical insurance and sovereign insurance raise yet. Those ones closed before Dangote. Link Ashore came out last week to tell us about their allocations. But anyhow, I think whatever may have happened in the last week or in the last 2 weeks and maybe this week, I see it as an opportunity to load up on solid fundamental stocks. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody will be fine. You just have to have a mindset, a long-term mindset for the market, because if you're expecting to just begin to reap right away, that's not how the stock market works. Uh, I always ask people, let's compare notes in 5 to 10 years. You understand why I say that the more you stay in the market, because if we, sometimes when I'm discussing with Onome, we're asking ourselves, we wish we had kept some of the stocks we bought long ago. I'm not sure we'll be holding spaces or discussing with you right now. Probably be sitting on the board of some of these companies, but we are young and immediately we get something, we flip. Immediately we get something, we flip. On hindsight, we just wished we held. Buy some good companies and hold, and then see the power of compounding do its job for you. Anyways, it's been nice talking to everyone here, and we hope that next week we'll have to do this on Twitter rather than YouTube. Those who haven't gotten tip, do they have their CS account to double check it? He says, what does he say? Hi, Charles. Those who haven't gotten their tip, do they have CSCS account to double check it? I don't know. Normally, if you have an online CSCS account, chances are they may have credited it to your CSCS account, but it's not reflecting yet in your broker's account. So you have to call your broker, tell them to update their to update their account so that the latest accretion to your CSCS account can be viewed or can be shown. Um, because once the allocation is done, it hits your CSCS account right away. But with the broker's account, it takes quite some time. You have to call them to do that. I don't know, Mr. Is this at Insight or whatever? Do you have an online CSCS account? And like, have you written to APL registrar? What have they said about your your shares with tip? How did you buy it? Did you buy from your broker, or uh, you bought directly? Was any of your money returned? If your money was not returned, chances are you have gotten your allocation. And I think what I've been hearing is for those people that have issues, they've placed their shares in a special account, RIN account, pending when you do your KYC to clarify and all that stuff. But again, okay, no problem. We continue the YouTube. The YouTube live will continue to do it. If that's what you want. Maybe one day of the week we do YouTube, and the other day we do Twitter. But I don't know, Mr. Altinsight. Do you have an online CSCS account? If you don't have an online CSCS account, then you won't be able to check whether it's been credited. But if you do have, and it has not been credited, I want to know what communications you would have made with your broker, with APL registrar, how you bought, whether you bought directly or through the broker. And then if you bought through your broker, then your broker should be the one on their neck, making sure that your shares are being credited. So again, I've said it. This is the last week I'm giving to APL registrar to fix their stuff. If by the end of this week I still have stories of people who haven't received their tip allocation, then I'm going to be forced to start calling them out, because it's getting ridiculous. Uh, it's getting ridiculous. Yeah, we'll be doing YouTube live if you guys like YouTube live. We'll continue to do YouTube live because apparently it looks like it's something you want to do. Senko, is Onome here?
I
Senko,
think
are you?
on the med, I think on the med drop, maybe network. Let me see. I think he sent a message on the group. Let me
Okay.
see.
Mr. Pascal, Pascal Anya, uh, if you have tip, hold your tip dearly. Let your tip be your seplat. That's all I will say to you. As for Zichis, the way Zichis came into the NGS leaves a very bitter taste in the mouth of a lot of people. So it's not a company we follow. Um, right from the first day it entered the NGS till date, it's just been controversy upon controversy upon controversy. And we'd rather not deal with a company like that. If you're just coming to the NGS and you cannot come clean, then it becomes difficult for people to trust you. So they need to do a lot of PR. They need to come and talk to people, make people understand their journey and all that stuff. Uh, People are fascinated by the fact that it's an agric company, and so they look at Okomo and they look at the example, Okomo and they look at Presco and they think, oh, any agric company that is coming is going to be like Okomo and Presco. Not when you make an appearance like that. Just pull the wool over people's eyes. List by introduction, your shares are not available. You keep pushing the price over and over and over and over, and then you get suspended. You do one for one, give 20 kobo, and then the madness continues because people are believing in this hype and hope that you might become the next Presco or Como. I'm not saying it's a bad stock or a good stock, but they need to come clean. They need to talk to people more. People need to understand what they are doing. People need to know what happened, why they were suspended. Nobody has given us a clear-cut story of how they were suspended, but we know there were a lot of market manipulations going on with the stock and all that stuff. And yes, until they get that, because you don't come, it's like coming to a new neighborhood and then you are doing things that people do not understand, so people we tend to like avoid you until they figure you out. And maybe sometimes you have to go through the process of introducing yourself properly to your neighborhood and tell them what you're all about before that trust can return. Like I said, we don't have enough information on the company. The company has not done much by itself to try and endear itself to the investing community. So we really don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We don't follow. We don't follow Zichis. Lagos State has issue with waste management. Loma is not doing enough. Okay, so what tip can be engaged, but you know what? The problem is having spoken with the management of TIP a couple of times and all that. TIP is not that kind of a company that wants to do something half and half. So there are certain guarantees that must be provided when they are taking these jobs. It's not like a new government comes now and then everything changes about the contract, and they will start telling you the contract was awarded from the old administration and all that stuff. So they do all this kind of due diligence before they engage into any kind of contract, and that is what has delayed them entering the public space. They are more in the industrial space right now, helping to clean up petrochemical industries and related allied industries. They are venturing into the public space. They are trying to work with a couple of state government, But the only time those days will work, or those contracts will work, is when there's a guarantee. You understand? It's not like someone who leaves now and then the next governor is telling you, no, I didn't give the contract, and I have my own company that I want to use for this contract. So that's where the challenges are with the initiate and public space. So when governance increase, when people prioritize certain things, when they stop politicizing certain things, then you will see more of the initiate. And that's why we are very excited about their investment in Uganda. And if Dangote is he's done some jobs with Dangote, and hopefully, if something comes out of that deal, then the fact that you are in Uganda and then a refinery is being sited in Kenya, if they get that contract, then you are good for another God knows how long. As long as Dangote refinery is in existence, your business is as good as going on and stuff like that. I always tell people you might look at Apple, the stock, and you think, yeah, they are doing very well. But there are companies that supply Apple components they use in making their phones and their computers. Those companies actually do much better than Apple itself. So sometimes this servicing company to these major companies, they do way much better than the companies they provide their services to. So keep that at the back of your mind. We have got some very capable people running the affairs of the initiate. It's still a new company. It's still a new company learning the ropes and all that, but they are learning very well, and they have capable people giving them feedback, advising them on what to do and all that. The public offer wasn't something they had complete control of because they had people who were supposed to do this for them. And right from when the offer was going on to allotment, the allocation, and all that stuff, a lot of things have gone wrong. And at the end of the day, we'll need to find out where things went wrong. And like I said, we are giving the management of APER registrar up to the end of this week to resolve every issue. I think if by next if by next if by the end of this week, we are still having issues of people not being credited with their shares. We'll have no choice but to invite them to come to our space. And again, inviting them to come to our space is not to castigate them, it's not to blame them and all that. We will need them to present their own side of the case as to why it's so difficult to just, you know, credit people uh, their shares. Why it might look like uh, um, a strange occurrence, I don't think it is, because again, you ask yourself, why is it difficult? Why does it take 6 months, 1 year for bonus shares of companies to be credited? The same issue. Vitafoam, they've not credited their bonus shares. NGX itself, they've not credited their bonus shares. NACO, they've not credited their bonus shares. So what is the problem? Who is creating all this problem? We need to know. We need to know. Unfortunately, a couple of these market operators are scared. They are probably scared that if they go and tell the world what is happening, their regulators might hold it against them. So sometimes it's very confusing for us, but we try and manage the situation. I'm not in the business of blaming people, because for some of these companies, if you know some of the individual people that work for these companies, are very nice people. They're very respectful people. They are people who would do their job diligently. But if you're not the only one doing the job, you have to deal with other people. You have to depend on other people to be able to achieve what you want to do. Then it becomes a problem. And that's why I don't blame. The only time I start blaming organization is you invite them to come and present their side of the case and they're running away. Then it shows me you're hiding something. It shows me you are the problem. Like when Afri Invest did their rubbish, and instead of coming to do their whatever, they never did. The next thing was for them to be holding a private placement. After that messed up. So who messed up? Was it the NGS machine that glitched? Was it your system that glitched? And like if you want to make simple assumption, if it was the NGS machine that glitched, then that means it would have affected everybody. How come you are the only person affected? Who sent out that first message to tell people that they have to sell their shares and all that? How irresponsible as an organization can you be? Why can't you communicate properly? So these are the issues that is bedeviling the exchange. Before you know now, you just go and you just see a stock running and running and running. You don't know why it's running. Then after like 4 or 5 days, they'll bring the news that caused it to run. So those people who got wind of the news initially are those who would have bought and then they were just waiting. Then by the time other people are not queuing on the news, they are dumping on the other people. So the exchange is full of insiders trading. The exchange is full of sharp practices. We haven't dealt with this. We are dealing with things that are working. So these are our problem with what is going on with the NGX, and they are very non-responsive. They don't respond to anything. They've done some spaces that didn't make any sense to us. They've not come to tell us how they'll be able to onboard people to be able to invest in like a day. Open your account today, invest tomorrow. As long as you have your documents, submit them electronically, and then they'll verify it right there and then you are free to trade. You have a CSCS number right away. They ask you which broker you want to use. You can actually be helping brokers to open account. You understand? Use your platform, open the account for this thing. For any account you open for any broker, you get your commission. Just make life easy. Make it easy for everybody to invest. But that's not the case. A lot of things are going on. You don't even have calls. NGS does not have calls. They don't have calendar. Those are the things you can fix. We don't have enough companies on the NGX. We don't. I'm sure those of you who live in Lagos, there are some better companies in Lagos that are not listed on the exchange. The question is why? Because there's no motivation. There's no incentive to list. So just tell these companies, okay, you list, we give you 5 year tax break. Do you know what it will do for that company? You have to sell. You have to market yourself aggressively to these companies. You have to make them see the advantage of them coming to the NGX. Apart from maybe the Tony Elumelu index, the Dangote index, the Samad index. I mean, when I mean their index, I mean their companies. Those are the people who are making the NGX. Because immediately they say they want to raise any money, people already give them their money even before they announce the offer. So you can get companies to tell them you get to a level where if you need to raise money to do anything, you can raise it cheaply from your shareholders rather than going to pay commission to the bank and whatever kind of papers you want to raise. But you have to market it. You have to make it look attractive. If not, people will keep their money to themselves. They don't need your money. They don't really need your money. They don't want too many people sharing from their profit. So that's just how it is. Having a CSCS account is different from having a CSCS online account. Everybody in Nigeria has a CSCS account. The CSCS online account is the one you log into, and you're able to see the shares you have with your brokers. So if your broker is acting funny and uh, doing stuff with your shares, your CSCS is the most accurate. The CSCS shows everything that is happening to your account, So I encourage everybody. If you don't have a CSCS online account, it's difficult to help you sometimes because if you have it, sometimes when your broker's account is not updated, your CSCS account is automatically updated once those shares are accredited to it. So I advise everyone to have a CSCS online account, because it's like keeping your money in central bank, So that's just how we describe it. Anyways, I don't know. I don't see any more question. Uh, yeah, if you see Dangote at 9:30, buy. Because once the London listing is announced, you won't see it at that price again. So just some of this, even though I will buy a WAPCO before I buy uh, Dangote cement or Boa cement, But again, all of them are all cheap and uh, they are all good buys at the moment. Anyways, I don't know. I don't see any more questions on them. Maybe we should
Yeah,
call it today.
so I guess we can call it a day. To thank you everyone for joining. You can go back and replay for those who prefer audio platforms. This will be up sometime tomorrow morning. We get the audio version out tomorrow morning as well. Thank you all for joining. Have yourselves a profitable week ahead.
And please don't forget to join, share this and subscribe. Share this to your loved ones. It's probably the best gift you can give to them. It's not money. It's share share to them how to become financially independent. Share to them how to gain financial education. Share to them how to reason critically. So that if they start their journey early. I was watching one young man who wants to retire at 40. He's 33. He already has all the degrees from uh, bachelor's to MBA and all that stuff. He's doing his PhD and he's already invested in certain things. And he's come to the conclusion that he wants to make 2 billion naira at 40 years old. And this, with that money, he knows the money can continue to work for him and generate so much for him. So that's what we want people to do. So share, subscribe to the platform, not just listen. If your sacrifice for the sacrifice we do is uh, opening a YouTube account and subscribing and making a comment and sharing it in every platform that you're opportune to, that is what will make us happy. Because the richer all of us are, the better it is for everyone. So thank you once again, and God bless you all.